I followed 6 outsiders and 1 popular cheerleader over the course of a school year to try to investigate what's going on in schools with regards to popularity and exclusion. In the middle of the year, though, I surprised these main characters with a challenge, sort of like MTV's Made. I gave each one a different experiment to try to figure out whether they could make over the way other people perceive them without directly changing anything about their own individuality.
And what did you find?
I found that, well, I developed a theory called quirk theory, which I think holds true, and that is many of the differences for which students are excluded in school are actually the same differences that are going to make them appealing, interesting, or inspirational adults. That's what quirk theory is.
What made you decide to write a book on this subject?
Oh, I lecture at schools across North America, and I found so many students felt like there was something inadequate about themselves simply because they weren't in the popular group. And meanwhile, these were the same students who were very appealing to me because they had interesting personalities or quirks or skills or something that I thought would be extremely valuable to them in adulthood. And here they thought they were doing something wrong.
But there's nothing wrong with these children.
There is nothing wrong with you just because you're excluded in school. Absolutely not. And I think that it's a failing in our society today that students think that if they're not in some sort of social in crowd, that there must be some flaw in them. No, it's actually the outsiders who are going to be thriving after graduation, whereas the popular kids are so used to conformity and so unself-aware that they're the ones who are going to have a harder time in adulthood.
It's so interesting because, it makes you think back to being in high school, and certainly myself, and it was so prevalent. It is such a high school thing, those cliques. Why is that?
There is something about the school setting. It's both because of the age group among students where it means more to this age group to be popular and to be in a group and to belong collectively to something than it does to any other age group. So it's partly that, but it's also partly the schools themselves. Look who schools put up on a pedestal. They put up the athletes. They put up the cheerleaders. Popularity doesn't mean to be liked. Really, popularity is about reputation. How do you get that reputation? Research shows that you have to be visible, influential, and recognizable. Well, schools are basically setting it up so that the people who are going to have visibility, recognizability, and influence are naturally the jocks and cheerleaders whom they put so much resources into thrusting in front of the student body. I hope readers come away with 2 things. Number 1, being excluded doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you at all. Nothing. And number 2, popularity does not make you happy. So students can basically, and parents can strike that off their list in terms of something to aspire to.
Now you bring up parents. How do you suggest parents manage this in the home? Because the fact is it does come home.
It does come home. And also parents also can get caught up in the same frenzy over social status that students do, whether it's worrying about their child's social status or worrying about their own social status among other parents. Really, they should strike those worries from their list. A child's social status does not reflect your own, and it certainly does not reflect anything about your parenting abilities. Parents should not push their children to achieve some sort of social status. So many kids are totally fine with having 1 or 2 friends. They don't want to belong to a group, and they might not want to belong to a popular group, and I think that's healthy. And if they're fine with that, then parents should be as well.